Hello, everyone, and welcome to BDV's live testimonial for this week. Here with me, I have Anmo. Correct me if I'm wrong again. Anmo is from Nepal, and he came here as an F1 status holder or a visa holder, and he started the process with us, and he got his green card through us. On June of 2025 this year. So Anmo, before we move forward with telling your story or sharing more insights from what you've experienced with the EB-3, if you want to introduce yourself a little or share some details about the process or how you found your way to BDV Solutions, feel free to do so.
Hi everyone, I'm Anmol Dakhal. I'm from Nepal. I came to United States on 2017 as an F1 visa as a student, and I heard BDV through one of my friend who applied and got green card, and then I talked with the BDV team on 2021. And then my process started. We're gonna go through my process later on, right? So that's my journey up until BDV.
Yeah, so you started the process with us in 2021. I think you briefly mentioned on the recent Instagram reel that you found your way to us from a friend of yours who got a green card in 2018. Did this person like motivate you to apply for the green card itself, or did they simply help you find like an EB-3 services consulting provider?
I mean, yeah, he motivated me to do. It was quick and simple process back then, and I thought it's gonna be quick and simple, but mine took like 4 years. But lucky for him, he got it within a year.
Yeah, so you signed up like during COVID or like after COVID started. So some people who sign up after COVID experienced a retrogress period, so that affected the timeline a bit. I also believe that you had to get like the COVID vaccine. Was that correct?
Yeah, I gotta get all three doses.
Yeah, so do you want to share a bit more about like how you start the process and what you think about the service or the responsiveness of the team that worked with you?
I mean, I started service. I started my LC process on April 2021. I mean, back then, LC process usually took like not more than 6 months, and as soon as my LC was completed, and we filed all the three documents, 485, 765, and I-140 concurrently, and then the document procedure back then was kind of difficult, as we mentioned about the COVID vaccine that we gotta take. It was a long wait on CVS. I remember I used to call CVS, Walgreens to have a vaccine ready, but told me, I mean, there was certain days, date I forget. After like first dose, you gotta wait 2 or 3 months to get second dose. That kind of delayed my process. Yeah, but overall, after the COVID, it was kind of hectic to get the vaccination ready, to get the immunization form ready. It was kind of hectic back then.
And from what I recall, like when the vaccine first came out, there was like very limited.
Yeah, it
Um,
was very limited.
yeah, not everyone got their hands on it immediately, and it would have affected people who need to get vaccinated.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta wait like 2 weeks. I remember like for after first dose, we gotta wait like 2 or 3 months. Can't remember. But then after that too, when my time when I got my time to do vaccine, then I gotta wait another like couple of days to get in my line. So many people registered before me. So yeah, that was the time. Bad times.
During during this timeline, like did you think about like leaving the US and like visiting home? Did you have like any personal plans outside of the EB-3 itself?
No, back then, no. I haven't. I mean, I'm going back home within like 3 4 days. But after like 7 years, I haven't gone back home since 2017. So with the help of EB3 and with the help of BDV, I got my green card. Now I'm finally going back home and meet with my parents after like 7 8 years.
7 or 8 years is a very long time. A lot of us are not just me, but like a lot of people, if you're in the US and you have like a means to leave the US and visit your home country. A lot of us want to visit on like a
Yeah,
yearly basis, but 7 years is a record.
yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, I mean, when I was a student, I had opportunity to go, but during some sort of circumstances came and I couldn't do it. And then once I start my process, my lawyer suggested me not to travel, even though I get my travel card. After like a year ago, I was waiting for a green card. I was waiting for a green card to go back home, and finally I got him. Now my tickets are ready, and I think my flight is ready.
You mentioned that the attorney that assisted your case advised you not to travel
Yeah,
outside the US, but you had the ability to. It may be a bit difficult right
yeah.
after COVID
I
started
mean,
to
yeah,
travel.
I have so many friends that travel, but I personally I don't want to travel. So I mean, you can travel with the travel permit,
Mhm.
but I didn't. I was waiting for the green card.
Yeah, so different applicants have different plans in mind. We have a lot of people who just, asked if they could travel right after the LC got filed. Like a lot of people cannot wait to go on vacation or to meet friends and family outside the US. But in your case, I think you stick with staying in the US and just waiting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to go into details about any of the steps in particular? Do you think there's anything that you experienced personally that could be considered interesting or insightful for people who are looking to apply or who have a case started?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as my LC got approved, everybody knows we can file I-140, 765, 485 concurrently. But in my case, I mean, it's law or it's a government process. After I filed my I-140, first I got my RFE, and then we responded after a couple of months, and then I got NOID. It's notice of intent to deny, as it's similar to RFE, but it's a different level RFE, And then we respond. At that time, I was panicked, and I called. Back then, Chris was my attorney. I called him, and I said, "I am. Hey Chris, I got annoyed on my I-140. Can you? What can we do?" And I talked with him for like a couple of minutes. Then we started working on it, and after like 7 days of my NOID response, my case, my I-140 got approved, and then and after that it was a smooth process, and then I got two interviews for my 485, one on Dallas and one on my current location, South Carolina. Both of these interview were on the retrogression, because as my case wasn't current, Dallas field office said they didn't have a jurisdiction over my case and they transferred it to South Carolina. And after a month of having interview on Dallas, I need to go back to again to South Carolina, Charleston base, to give my interview. I gave my interview, and then it and the interviewer said my case was approved, but there was no visa available as the case was retrogressed, and then I got to wait 4 or 5 months. Then I got my green card on June of this year.
Yeah, so there are practically like USCIS offices everywhere in the States, but you mentioned that you had your interview scheduled for the second time in South Carolina after going to Texas for it. Can you clarify a bit more? Like, were you working in South Carolina, so that's why it was scheduled in South Carolina?
I mean, first, I think my case was in Texas Service Center, and then they issued my interview at Texas, wherever my document was sent to Texas Service Center, and then I went to Texas, and they said since I was working and living in South Carolina, and the Texas the Dallas field office said they didn't have a jurisdiction since I moved here, and I have my driver license here and I worked here. So Dallas doesn't have a jurisdiction over my case. They transferred to Charleston. Charleston took my interview, and they told me my case was over within as soon as my interview got finished. I think that's the reason. Like wherever you live, wherever you work, that that field office has a jurisdiction over your case. That's what I figured out.
Yeah, so usually they would schedule your interview at the nearest local USCIS office so that you don't have to travel far for it. But we have had people who, when there was one client very recently who did a testimonial with us. She was living and working in South Carolina. She had her interview scheduled in Florida because she was living there for a couple of years. So they had that schedule in Florida. So there may be some mixed up,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. And then it was smooth. My interview. As soon as I done my interview here, and after a year, I think after a year, my case became current, and after a couple of months, then I got approved.
So you had your green card interview. Did you receive any, preparation from us? Do you want to share about like what you think that got you prepared for that interview? Were you nervous or anything like that?
No, I wasn't nervous at all during the interview, but we had a Argo visa that prepared me for interview, and they helped me. I asked them so many questions because some of my friends already had the interview here in Charleston, and compared to other field office, Charleston is kind of difficult. That everybody said, for the immigration interview. So I talked with the Argo visa in detail about all the possible and difficult questions that may arise during the interview, and they helped me. They helped answer my questions very smoothly.
Yeah. So there could possibly be rejections or denials happening at other stages as well, but if you have been approved for all of the steps that preceded,
Hmm.
it's very highly possible that your green card interview would be approved or that you would get the green card at the end. So I'm pretty sure you felt a lot of motivation through all of the assistance or through all of the filing steps and all of the approvals that you got so that you could get to that final step.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Do you want to share anything else specifically about your process, or how about some insights regarding what your family think about the EB-3 process that you signed up for? Were they encouraging you to sign up as well?
I mean, they did. First of all, my whenever I called my parents, every time they would ask me, "Is your card approved? Is your card approved?" It took me 4 years. 4 years is a long wait. But it was worth it at the end. I mean, everybody was happy. Myself included. I was so happy as soon as I got my green card. I called all my parents, brother, sister. They're very happy. Since I'm going back home, they're even happier. Thanks to this process, thanks to this BDV and this EB-3 process that unite me with my family, which I haven't gone in like 7 years.
Yeah. So what I say is that the EB-3 unskills, not just the EB-3, but also every other types of immigrant processes, it's it's more or less like a privilege because while there are different processes that you can sign up for and maybe different opportunities that you can take, but if you're not financially capable or if you're not willing to commit to the requirements of the process and its timeline, it's very hard to be able to reach this final step of the process. So it takes a lot of efforts in order to get to the green card.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time. You gotta wait. You gotta have patience, and you have to you have to be real about what's going on. You gotta. I mean, that's a very very very. I mean, since it's an easy process compared to other one, but it takes time now.
And since you sign up for the process, do you think that anyone else that also feel encouraged to sign up, or were they, scared of the timeline that you had and the number of, difficulties that you experienced?
I mean, yeah, I have so many my brothers, who questions me every single day. Would text me on Facebook or Instagram, ask me about my process. Since BDB released my testimonials, I became kind of famous. Since everybody asks me about my timeline, what's the obstacles that I went through, and I responded to everybody, with clear visions. Like, you gotta, this is the easiest process up until now, but it kind of take times. But you gotta be patient. You gotta have all the documents ready. It's easy process. If you don't have anything planned, this is the process. You should definitely go for it. To become legal here, and fulfill your American dream here. Yeah, I help so many people. I have so many friends that are still in this process. Almost all of my friends, we are in the same process. Some of them got approved. Some of them are still on LC process. Some are still waiting to file 485, since it's been retrograded since 2022. So I've all of my people that I know are in this process. Some already got approved. Some are still in the process.
Yeah, I think being able to see a familiar face and a familiar name, it kind of helps you attain more security when you sign up for something that you don't know a lot about, and you know that you need someone else's guidance in order to move forward and to complete each step. But hearing that you have a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yes,
sign up.
similar thing happened. Sorry, similar thing happened to me too, because I didn't know about this process, and my friend got a green card. That encouraged me, and since I got approved, so I hope everybody, whoever is watching, or whoever gets this video later on, will know. I'm the real example of this process, like getting green card within like 4 years of time. Yeah, this will be very much helpful for everybody who wants to do this process.
Yeah, and I see a question right here. How many years did it take for you to get a green card? So he signed up in April 2021. He got his green card in June 2025 of this year. You can see some of the information that we put out on social media. Like you said, you had that video put out, so a lot of people came to ask you for insights.
Yeah,
But pretty much, we have a lot of people who get the green cards through us, but a lot of them are camera shy,
yeah,
or they don't want to put their faces out there. So it's not always that we have someone who is willing to provide that insights and the actual perspective.
yeah. Some people are camera shy too, and nobody want to share their experience. Some people want to be quiet about getting green card. So I try to be helpful. Everybody who come across me, asks me question, I'm ready to answer them and
Yeah.
give my insight.
And also, a number of people just want to get the journey over with. They don't want to involve further with all of the complications dealing with it. And also, don't know if a lot of people are aware that we put out so much content on the actual clients and their journeys. So maybe they're not aware that we're doing this testimonial today either.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of content. There are a lot of people who wants to be part of this and are getting real insight. So I think these things will be very much helpful for those who are in need. Who definitely need some, and have their questions ready, and I hope we answer some of their questions today with this testimonial.
Yeah. Through all of the communication that we have through this live, I'm pretty sure that we answer a lot of questions already, because they tend to ask very repetitive questions like the timeline, or when did you file something, or did you get your green card already, where are you from,
Yeah.
things like that. I'm taking a look at the questions now. So the timeline that you experience, that's individual. Not everyone is going to have the exact same timeline. Even if you start at the same time as someone else, the
Yeah.
approval may not come on the same date. So, like, like we mentioned, you filed right after COVID started, not too long after COVID started, and some factors affected your own process.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, definitely my notice of intent to deny affected like couple of months. RFE affected couple of months, and then two interviews. I mean, two interviews that were in retrograde period, but that also affected my case. So there are lots of factors affecting the case. And as per my experience, either you get stuck on LC, like if there will be RFE on LC or I-140. I got two RFEs actually, and RFE on I-140. So it's kind of, I mean, there are so many RFEs that you can get during this whole process. But you just have to be, you just have to be honest. You just have to be patient about everything. You can't lie anything. It is what it is. You just have to put it out there.
yeah. And this is not something that could be done overnight. It takes time to start, and get the process moving, get the process finished. The If anyone wonders, the RFE is a request for more evidence. So basically, when Anmo here had an RFE, he had to provide the supporting documentations and the related information to further provide or further provide the officer that is going through his application to give him the approval for that. Um, yeah, so if anyone else has more questions, please feel free to drop them. Also, you mentioned that you're gonna visit home pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long are you going?
I'm going for like 2 months. Yeah, and then I mean everybody's excited, so I'm excited myself. It's been 7, 8 years, so I mean the flight is long, but I'm already excited.
Yeah, the flight is long, but I'm pretty sure when you land, it's gonna be all worth it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I tend to travel for like a year or not a year, a month or so when if I ever visit my home country. But in your case, 2 months is a pretty good period of time, especially for how long you've been
yeah,
staying here and waiting out.
yeah. Hopefully that would be good.
So there's a question that asks about interview questions. I'm not sure if everyone is going to get the same kind of questions through their green card interview, but basically, prior to the interview, you're going to get prepped by Argo Visa, which is a sister company of ours. They provide the preparation for both visa and green card interviews, but in Anmo's case, well, he said that he was confident answering it.
I mean, I've seen. It's not about. It's not. Confident because I've seen so many of my friends that gave interview. We prepared together. We asked each other questions. We have prepared ourselves first. Then we went to Argo. We got like we got so much clear third like what's going on. And then I got confident into the real interview. It's not like I didn't prepare anything and I became confident. I prepared everything at the back end, and talked with the Argo visas officers, and then I went to the interview. So I mean, you got to be prepared. It's not like I mean, all the questions that the officer will ask that you will know. It's nothing new or it's nothing crazy question. There, everything will be new, and they just want to make sure everything is correct. Whatever you file, just want to make sure everything is correct. Your date of birth, your every documents that you send are real. They just want to make sure that they are not asking anything outside of the box. They just want to know who you.
Right.
Yeah.
They ask you questions specific to your own immigration records and your own situation in your own person.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me see here. And your friend who got approved before you, he shared with you insights on his own interview.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have an interview back then. It was COVID, I think, and then everybody got approved. His timeline is almost like 9 months, start to end.
Yeah, so in his case, he didn't get an interview. Some people didn't get an interview or they had it done remotely, so it was a lot less complicated.
But now I think most of them, not all of them, like most of them, people will get interview.
Yeah, right, because we're not in that, shutdown period anymore, so a lot of offices have to be open back up. So a lot of people went for their own interview. Um,
I think it's a random. You don't know whether you will be uh, getting interview or not. So it's just a random. You get you get email and the later like, yeah, you got an interview scheduled on this date.
I think we pretty much touched base on a lot of things, went over the general timeline and the overview for your own journey. If you have anything else that you want to share, feel free to chime in.
I mean, yeah. At the end, if we ever want to do this process, we is very hesitant to start this process. I would suggest them start as soon as possible. If you are sure you want to do this process, you want to go through this process. Yeah, do not think twice. Go ahead and start your process. As soon as the faster you start it, the faster you get a green card. Your priority date is going to be today. If you file today, is your priority date going to be tomorrow if you file tomorrow? So decide what do you want to do, and if you are sure you're going to start this process, then also them to do start as soon as possible.
Yeah, I do want to add on to that U.S. immigration demands for U.S. immigration is always high.
Hmm.
So if you don't sign up, someone else will, and people are signing up every day. If you want to sign up but are concerned or confused about anything, you can always reach out and ask questions. We are a team of people who are working to make sure that people who are signing up with us understand and that they know what they're signing into. They know that they will be supported throughout their case. If you want to sign up, you can always head over to bdvsolutions.com. I believe there's also a link on our social media page as well. But thank you again, Animal, for being here for the live testimonial. It's not always easy to catch a client and have them be willing to sit with us and to share their insights, but it was a great pleasure having you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right. See you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today.